we're going up in the world. It's very. Thank you, Travis. Hi everyone, it's Russ from Miami's 11. Hope you're safe and well. New channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell icon, and the other stuff. Yeah, you get used to saying it after about 125 times. Hope everyone's well. Obviously, no live proper football. We got this Champions League rubbish in August, but there's nothing for us until sort of mid-September. So we're keeping you excited. We're keeping you going, keeping the West Ham vibe, the West Ham family, the West Ham community going while we're all on holiday. Whatever happens, everyone's on holiday. It's weird, isn't it? We've had 3 months off, like really sort of lockdown, and now people have to take their holidays, and the kids are off properly. And oh dear. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, today we're joined by Travis Newton as our guest today. How you doing, Travis? How's things with you?
Not bad, thank you, Ross. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. A little birdie told me that you're doing up your father-in-law's flat around the corner.
Yeah, I am. That is, I'm basically working during the day, as you said, entertaining the kids as well, trying to stop them from killing each other, and then at the same time in the evenings doing a bit of DIY, and I'm terrible at it as well.
Oh, I'm rubbish. I am the epitome of get a man to do it. Literally, anything that needs to be done. My wife will go, "Oh, that thing needs painting. I'll get Tony round. Oh, that garden thing. Look, Russ, can you have a go? Yeah, that garden thing's done. I need a gardener." No. But anything to do like I don't know, an HDMI cable or anything like that. I'm your man.
Here.
I'm your man. I'm like IT support for our family. But anything manual, nah. I ain't got. I'm so crap.
I've got no because it always looks really easy when someone else does it.
Yeah, it does, and it's like I just can't. I can just about put like a table or a chair together, but then I've got to keep tying it up, which makes. I don't remember having to tighten up any other furniture.
I don't know about you, but I always get the at the end, about 5 minutes after I finish, my wife walks in and she goes, "Is this supposed to look like that?"
Yeah,
and
or you've done it all, and there are like some spare screws because they do put spare screws in. But she doesn't believe me. She's like, "Why have you put the spare? Why?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know." But I've done step 1 to 200 in the booklet, and now that I have this one left over, and my man drawer is just full of extra bits and bobs. But it's just, Anyway, we digress. How's everything been sort of during sort of the weird world we currently live in for you?
Mental.
Yeah.
I've got 3 kids, so I've got a 5-year-old boy and then 2-year-old twins, and that's a face everyone pulls. And I'm working full time, so my wife and I are both working, and we've been working from home, and it's just been crazy. So we've just been surviving.
I know what you mean. Yeah, we're the same. We've only got one, and she's 8, so we've had all that bit, the 5 and the 2-year-old bit, but. Trying to entertain her is even worse. I mean, it's a lot easier now because just give her an iPad with TikTok on and she's all right, or Roblox or whatever they call it. I don't know, but that's it. She's fine. But I suppose having your father-in-law quite close is useful.
Yes,
well.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the same thing with my mother-in-law.
On tap.
Yeah, it's true. But we've got we got the little dog, and the little dog's getting a bit used to us being here. Obviously, we've been here for like 3 or 4 months now. She's going to go.
There's going to be that day when you eventually go back to normal.
Yeah,
and you'll be like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah, I know it's going to be well weird. Anyway, and obviously, we the season's been and gone. You blink to me, and restarts over. It's just mental. But thankfully, everything panned out in the end.
Yeah,
as it always does with West Ham.
My son, so I take my boy to West Ham with me, and he was very perplexed by the whole games happening and him not being able to go to the games.
Yeah,
a bit like, and he's just got his head around because he's 5. He's only just understood relegation as well. So I was like, fingers crossed, we're not one of the teams that gets relegated when I have to explain to him.
Why, Daddy? Why are we playing Barnsley?
Some teams aren't good enough to stay in the league.
Yeah. Why are we not good enough to play in that? Yeah, well, it's a bizarre concept to try and get across to a 5-year-old, let alone a grown man, about why we won't, if we go down, why we're not good enough. So, are you a crowd or noise on or off type person?
So, funnily enough, slight plug, I work for Sky.
Yeah.
and I work for the team that monitors the crowd noise.
Oh wow!
It all works, and yeah. So I am a crowd noise on person because I like to be. So
yeah,
a long time ago, pre-Sky, I used to back in the day when the internet I'm trying to find a diplomatic way of saying this. I used to watch games that at 3 o'clock on a Saturday.
Sure, they weren't meant. Yes, they were on terrestrial television.
And I remember back in the day, it used to be in like Chinese or whatever. Like it used to be like you'd find like some Chinese channel or whatever.
Yeah.
And even with Chinese commentary, I'd have to keep it on because I can't watch in silence. I have to be able to have the crowd kind of like build up a chance or build up. Do you know what I mean? Like a bit of sustained bit of pressure or something. So yeah, I'm definitely a noise on person.
Yeah, I thought it was. I was talking to someone the other day, and they mentioned something which I went back and watched. I thought it was particularly rough when we were 3-0 up against Norwich, and the artificial crowd were booing. You know, that's something. That's something when the AI turns on you. You know you've lost the support of the. You know you're going down if the AI support turns against you. I was like, oh my god, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But I think I'm a crowd noise person. You know, I have to, even when I'm at the ground, I have to put it on or put something on the telly just because it's even. I mean, we don't hear much noise anyway, but it's extra weird when I'm there. But no, I think it's really cool. I think the way it's been done is brilliant. I think, really, to be honest, it's really interesting. You know how it all sort of works. And
it's great. We had a meeting the day before it started, and they were saying because the person who designed it or the person behind it actually doesn't watch football, believe it or not. Yeah. And I was in this meeting, and they were saying that I think they use like Opta. So the idea is that you can kind of see that Team A has got possession of the ball, and as they get towards Team B's goal, then your machine learning can say, oh, well, because Team A is the home team, then there needs to be more noise. But what they couldn't get is they couldn't understand an own goal. Like, so it wouldn't read, Team A's got the ball, and all of a sudden the ball's in Team A's goal. And it just couldn't do it for ages. So it took ages, like basically trying to figure out how to actually program this thing to make a sound effect that responded to an own goal.
Oh, brilliant! And there was one. I remember. I can't remember who it was. It was a team. It might have been Arsenal or something on the telly, and the guy missed a complete sitter, like a 2-yard sitter, and it sort of rippled the back of the side of the net, and and the crowd went, "Hey!" Oh, it was brilliant. So they pressed goal. No, it's not. The machine had thought it was a goal, but it was brilliant. Honestly, I think it's so clever. And it looks like we'll have it for at least another few games until God knows what happens. Who knows when we get October, they reckon, but. Things aren't looking. Things are sort of spiking a little bit up at the moment. I noticed. So they were saying. So who knows? But it was good to do the season. Good to get over. We can start. Again, blind West Ham optimism for next season until about game 3. Yeah, are you a pessimist? You're half unfull. Yeah.
I first thing I do, I look at the fixtures and I look at the last day of the season. I say, who have we got beat to play up?
It's so true. And I have this blind sense of optimism until about game week 3. So we probably lost 5-0 to West Brom. We probably drawn against Burnley and got a point against Villa or something like that. And I look and I go, that's it. They reeled me in. Yeah. And then they've taken it away again. But that's been what West Ham's all about, Travis, isn't it? We're fortune is always hiding.
It's always hiding. Yeah, exactly. It's
always hiding, and it is. But when you find it for that brief 90-minute period where you turn over Chelsea or you beat Tottenham, that's our season, isn't it? That's our season. We're done.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as we stay up, that's fine. As long as we beat Tottenham or beat Chelsea or Man United at least once or twice that season, that's us done. And that's basically our season, really, isn't it? It's true they say. I mean, the Tottenham fans and my mates say, "Oh, it's your FA Cup, it's your final tonight," and when we're playing Spurs. Probably is, yeah. Fair enough,
I see. I'm from Enfield. We'll probably get into it a bit, but I'm from London originally, so I know a lot of Spurs fans. We have heated debates over, the fact that, that's their get out of jail. Basically, we beat them, and they say, they either beat us and they say we're rubbish, or we beat them and they say, oh yeah, we didn't really care about it. It was your cup final. Yeah. So I'm always butting up against Spurs fans on that.
Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to the All or Nothing Spurs one that comes
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
on
that'd
Prime
be
soon.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be quite good. I like them ones. I like the American football ones as well. And so it'll be. So obviously, it's all about Mourinho coming in, and
Yeah, yeah,
so it'd be
that's
quite
where
interesting.
I've not properly watched one yet, but I think I
They're
will watch
brilliant. I
to
never
see.
really. Yeah, I mean they're brilliant. I mean, I've never really. I mean, I'm not a massive. I never really know anything about American football, but I love watching them because you
See
just
behind the scenes
yeah, you
stuff.
see behind and it is really interesting, and you sort of get a little appreciation in the next season. A new team, or when Man City rather did it, that was good. Or the Sunderland one on Netflix, I do like them. Or the Leeds one. Leeds one's good as well.
So I've not seen any. I've seen the I don't know if you have the Michael Jordan thing.
Yes, yeah. Last Dance. Yeah, that's good.
Again, I don't like basketball, but
Nah,
it's gripping. Like it's just absolutely gripping. Like
yeah.
as you say, seeing everything behind the scenes and how people are away from the court and geeing each other up. You know, it's
Yeah, it was a bit like when I watched it the other day. I don't know why I watched it, but I watched Iron Man again, and I don't know why I watched it because it makes me always sad. But but it's like I fancied a cry. But no, and it's again all the behind the scenes. I mean, obviously I know it already, but it's really good to see. And yeah, I mean those all or nothing things. But I'd love them to do a West Ham. It'd be absolutely mental. The West Ham one, honestly,
crazy. Yeah,
it'd be hilarious. It'd be so funny.
We've already got a pretty bad reputation.
Well, we're like a soap opera anyway, isn't it? So you might as well just make some money out of it. Do you know what I mean? From Amazon, but that's what they do with the American football ones. What they do is they literally, I think they film 4 or 5 teams. They pick 4 or 5 teams every year, and then based on who has the most mental season, that's the one they pick.
Right.
So no one knows who they're following.
Yeah.
So the Tottenham one only came out because someone mentioned it, and I think it was part of the reason why Pochettino left or something. You know, there was a thing about the Amazon.
Oh, was there? Right, okay.
Something like that. Yeah, I remember me mentioning it as part of like one of the reasons. I don't think it was the main reason he left, but you know, it was everything on top. But anyway, let's not talk about that team. Let's talk about West Ham. Travis, why are you a West Ham fan? What's your excuse?
Yeah. So my family are also So my dad was born in the West Indies. He was born in Antigua. Came over here in the mid to early 70s, actually.
Sure.
And he's an Ipswich fan, which is absolutely random. He met a load of Ipswich fans, got on really well. He's an Ipswich fan now, and obviously they were good then as well.
Yeah.
But I never really. Despite that, luckily, I never went in that direction. As I said, I also grew up in North London, right? So all of my family are from East London, but my mum moved to North London when she had me, and I grew up in the middle in Enfield in like Spurs territory.
Yeah.
However, all of my family lived in East London, and my mum's younger brother was a West Ham fan, and I remember talking to him, age 6, 7, and him telling me about going to Upton Park. I remember him going. I don't remember him going because I was too young, but I remember him telling me about going to the League Cup final in '81. I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was that kind of got me into it. And then as soon as I was old enough to go, then I had to beg my dad. So my dad, good on him, actually took me to West Ham sort of like a few years in. So my first football match wasn't a West Ham game. So my first game I ever went to was 1989 or 1990, QPR Coventry. Yeah. Just random game in London. And then it wasn't until about sort of like 93, 94, I managed to get my dad to start taking me to Upton Park. And then he would take me and one of my best mates from school. We mates from day one at school because we were in an all Tottenham school, basically. And the two of us support West Ham. Brilliant. So he would drive us both down there, aged like 12, 13, to Upton Park, take us to the games. Then when we got a bit older, his little brother would come as well. So his little brother was like 4 years younger. So the three of us, my dad would drop us off. And then we got to sort of our early 20s and then we got season tickets and we all sit together now. Brilliant. So, and now our kids go with us. And
it's lovely.
There's a load of us that go, yes, but it's all stemmed from that basically. And like I said, so I've got it isn't this sort of following my dad. It was actually following my uncle, my mum's brother. And the fact that my whole family, so all of my family live around or used to live around that way. They've kind of moved out east now. Like I live in Essex now as well. And they all kind of live in the Chadwell Heath way. But my nan used to live in Forest Gate, like literally off Green Street. So when my dad first started taking me, we would park at my nan's.
And walk down.
And walk up Green Street.
Brilliant.
And it's great. Like, So yeah, unfortunately,
no, it's brilliant.
Yeah, she didn't live around the corner from Highbury or whatever it was.
Yeah. Could you imagine? I mean, you're right. I mean, it's lovely, and you're right. It's funny. It's a lot of people who were born in that area and lived in that area have moved more east. You know, into the suburbs. You know, into Chadwell Heath, or some of us are in Hornchurch.
I'm in Billericay, so I'm right out.
Oh, you're further out. God, you got further past. You got way past me. You're in Hornchurch. But it's true, and what I love is every story is slightly different. So your one is your dad. Ipswich, love it. It's so random.
And and I think he regrets that as well now.
Well, but when he started, no, not at all, because they were flying. Yeah. But you're right, yeah. Exactly. So he picked a good team then, and you were a bit of a glory hunter, really, because we were in the Premier League by the time you turned up. It's like 92, 93.
No. So I started following West Ham. I remember my first season at West Ham. Lou Macari was the manager.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Talking 89, maybe when we still had Ince. And I think we went down that year.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
So it's just
fair enough.
Me to...
Some people I was a glory hunter. I got in. My first game was 92-93 promotional season. So I was a proper glory hunter. Finishing second to Newcastle, having to beat Cambridge.
I still remember that last part of the season. David Speedy and Clive Allen.
Yeah. And they just went mental. Yeah, I remember. That was funny. Exactly. I remember because my friend was a Portsmouth. I remember my friend was a Portsmouth fan. I remember as well. He still is, obviously. But no, I remember that vividly. It's funny as things. I don't remember necessarily. I remember the goal going in. I remember Clive Allen's goal going in, and then I remember it just being mental and just
when everyone ran on.
Everyone ran on the pitch, and then this rope ladder almost took me out from the. I was on the bottom west. And this rope ladder from the upper west came flying down, and people were, I don't know how they got it through security, but they were, I suppose they were, then they didn't give a shit, they didn't. I mean, people were climbing down the rope ladder to get onto the pitch. That was the last pitch invasion I think I remember there being at West Ham, like a proper one, a mass one, not like a Millwall one. Like a celebratory one, not one because they want to kick the crap out of the other team, but it's funny, isn't it? And you're right. It's and the way you describe it, it said you and your mate, and now it just grew and grew and grew to your mate's brother, and then the families, and you all sit together. That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's not about winning Premier Leagues, or it'd be nice to, but we know we're not. It's about going.
You have a word with my son. I've been. We've had a couple of difficult conversations where he said to me, "Daddy, what?" So I said to him, he said to me, "Oh, Liverpool got the trophy." And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, why do we support West Ham then?" And I said, "No, well, it isn't. It's sweeter when you do win. Yeah. When you don't support a team that wins all the time." And he said, "Well, have West Ham won the trophy before?" And I was like, "Well, not that trophy."
No. We finished third in 1985, 1986, which you still talk about many, many years later with so many club records still gone from that season. But I know what you mean. It's a difficult conversation. It's one which I think the older you get, the easier it is to explain, because you don't explain it, because it's just, as you said, you started going, and when your dad dropped you off, you was on your own, and it was like, and also going to football, it was the only time you could probably swear about getting a clip around the ear.
Yeah.
And it was just being together, and I'm going to create a product. I'm going to try and recreate something where you can get that smell of a cheap burger van smell, because I can't get that smell anywhere. You know what I mean? Yeah. Going down Green Street outside Ken's, that's that horrible. I don't want to meet.
A treat on the way home.
Yeah, but because it was cheap on the way out, because they were getting rid of them, weren't they? But I can never get that smell, that cheap onion and burger smell, and it's just. The other day, someone mentioned it, and I could get it, and I could taste the burger as well. It was really weird how the senses just sort of like kick in.
Yeah. It takes you, doesn't it?
Oh, it took me so back, and it was so funny, because then I spoke to my wife afterwards, and I was like, "I'm just going to pop down Ercan's to get the kebabs." Ercan's was on Barking Road. I haven't been there for 15 years. No, I meant Oh My God in Hornchurch, but I said Ercan's, and I was like, just because I was talking about West Ham before, we were talking about the burgers. Yeah. Weird, it's so weird, man. But I mean, you must have had some right giggles with you and your mate and your mate's brother, over the years. seeing the games and stuff.
Yeah,
any sort of memories stick out to you in your time as a fan?
I mean, I can remember that going in terms of going to games.
Yeah,
I can remember going to Derby. So do you remember when was it Trevor Sinclair scores a scissors kick from the corner?
Yeah.
And so it's me, my mate, his brother, and my dad. And my dad come with us that day.
Brilliant.
And my dad spent 90 minutes just all on Ravanelli's back the whole game, saying, "Oh, he's got no touch. He's terrible. He's terrible." And my mates still laugh about it now. They're like, "Oh, your dad, Mr. No Touch." He kept calling him every time. And then I always remember that goal, that corner routine where Joe Cole takes the corner and it comes out to Sinclair and he just hits it on the scissor kick. I always remember that. I remember a bit more recently the Tevez free kick, the first goal he scored. When he scores, he jumps in and he jumped in just below us because we sat there.
Are you in Chav Corner around there?
Yeah. And we're still there now. and we that whole run-in as well, like not just that game. Like I remember Zamora getting one against Everton when we beat him 1-0, and I think Tevez gets a free kick against Bolton as well. That whole run to the end. Yeah. And then we watched the final game at United. We watched it in his brother's bedroom, literally the three of us,
brilliant,
girlfriends and everything, just in that room, in a bedroom, just watching us beat United on the last day. And then the other one really is, this is just such a West Ham thing. I remember going when we had Allardyce. Yeah. I remember we were on a terrible run, and we basically went to Chelsea away. I don't remember. It's when we had Antonio Nocerino and the other guy up front. I can't remember.
Borriello. Yeah.
Right. And so the Chelsea game, I've never been able to go Chelsea away because it's just, you'll never get to Chelsea away. But that year we were so bad, and the tickets were £55 for the cheapest ones. So everybody must have just thought, "Oh, I'm not going to go at that. Watch West Ham beat." Chelsea were champions that year as well. So we I think about a week before the game, they were still on their general sale, and we were like, "Well, we can't not go to Chelsea." So we went, had a few drinks on the way, turned up like late, steaming everything, and we stood in the back, and that game was the worst game of football. It just stands out in my head. We were so bad, and I remember Carroll hitting the bar. I remember we literally got the ball, and every time we got anywhere near our goal, Allardyce basically just said to us, "Punt it forward. Even if there's no one in their half, just punt it forward." And we got a 0-0 out of it. And I remember coming home and thinking, "Oh, that's a great result. I think that was a bit of a turnaround as well. I think from then we picked up. That was, I think Adrian started playing then as well, because I think we had Jääskeläinen up to that point. Yeah. And it was one of the games where Adrian played, and then actually they started playing Adrian instead. And it was just, it always sticks in my head. And it was a terrible game of football, honestly.
Yeah. I remember one of my memories is we played Villa once, and I can't remember when it was, but it was the worst game of football I've ever seen. I think we either scored in the first minute or Villa scored in the first minute, and then the other team equalised in the 89th minute, and nothing happened for the other in between. And I think it was like I was sitting up in the box, and it was like the world's most. I was literally, and I've been to like reserve team games at Upton Park, and it's like up there, and it's just like 0-0s. But this was even worse. I think Jermaine Defoe scored our goal, and it might have been the equaliser in the 89th minute, and it was just like. Because it's quite rare that happens. There's always something at West Ham,
winners or equalisers, do we?
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, what I mean. It's like it doesn't usually have that much of a boring game, and so that's why it stood out for me so much. It was so absolutely appalling. But and you're right. It's so West Ham, coming away with a 0-0 draw, having probably not had a shot on target, thinking results, right. Particularly just steaming down the King's Road afterwards. But, right, okay, so we do this Hammers 11, Travis. So the basic idea is you have to be alive to have seen them play. That's the only criteria. Only criteria. You pick your 11, do whatever you want, your favourite players, your technical best players, up to you, man. Free reign, it's your 11. You pick who you want, but you have to be alive to have seen them play. That's it. We'll try and do a 4-4-2, but if you want to mix it up, I'm like, don't care.
That's fine.
Oh, cool. Right, all right. We'll start with the easiest. We'll start in goal. Who would be in goal for the Travis 11 then?
Nailed on. My favourite player of all time is the big man, Ludo. See, I'm a goalkeeper as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I once met him in home base in Enfield, and I literally jumped on him to get his autograph and a picture as well. I think it's on my Facebook. And I remember his wife being completely nonplussed about the whole thing. But he is literally my favourite player of all time. So you're probably roughly the same age as me, based on when you West Ham. For me, it will probably come out in the 11 that I pick. But like the 90s for me, 90s West Ham is like what you remember and what you kind of like. Yeah, Ludo was just, you remember him on the last day of the season winning the title for Blackburn.
Yeah,
his tight shorts. He always used to wear those really tight, they were padded, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they had those weird padded shorts. And also, I remember as well, you had he used to kick the ball really funny. I watched it again on Robert Banks's things the other day, and he almost like on the side, he was like really awkward looking at it again, and he's almost like like you're doing a sandwich shot at golf. It was a bit like that. Watch it again. He's got a really funny kick. I know what you mean about Ludo. And he was just in goal for us forever. It seems, particularly our era. He was just always in goal. And they do say, and it's so true when everyone I speak to, and we talk about these things, they always favour a particular era. And it's true. Someone mentioned to me once that you love the music most that you was when you was a teenager.
Yes,
so when you was 15, 16, you loved that music. And I think it's the same with football. So, you was probably about that age, 13 to 15.
So I was like,
exactly. So early to mid 90s, that's probably nucleus, and that was the nucleus of my team as well, because those are the people I grew up with. It was. I won't mention it. I mentioned random players that you probably haven't got. It is the John Moncurs and the.
That's in my midfield. The John Moncurs.
Spoiler alert! I do want to go the obvious left back because I'm sure that'll be one. But it's the. Oh dear, the Peter Butlers. Okay, the Peter Butlers and the Matthew Rushes and Matthew Holmes. Michael Hughes. Those type of players that we remember more fondly than the, as you said, the Borriellos and stuff like that. It's all a generational thing. But we'll put Ludo in goal. We'll go left back. So who's going to be your left back then, Travis?
You and I both know it's got to be Julian Dix.
Razvan Rat. No, Julian Dix.
Do you know what? Paul Konchesky is a close second, I'd say. I did like Konchesky at left back.
Proper ammo.
Definitely not Masuaku or Cresswell, unfortunately.
Yeah. We haven't had a good run since Julian, I don't think, in terms of...
No. And those penalties, though, that was what you... Oh, the penalties where you just smash them straight down the middle. And you knew it was going to do. Never going to miss. No.
But he hasn't. But he's not second ever since 2002. What was it? Mark Noble's one. He's second 2000 2020. He has the second best penalty ratio in the world. I'm surprised,
it
was. I mean,
he probably has missed one, but I don't remember. It's one of those things you block it out. But I don't remember Julian Dix ever missing a penalty. I just remember them always flying in.
Yeah, it's true. And he just came and he just smacked them, didn't he? And you're right. I remember that one against Schmeichel where it looked like he bent his hand back, and he just did it, and he was absolutely mental. And I just loved him. I thought he was a massive fan of his, and he was like my boyhood hero. And I think we could all relate to him, and people of the older generation could relate to him because he didn't have a body like Adamo Traore or anything like he wasn't muscular. He looked like just a normal bloke, but he just had this God-given talent to play football. Exactly. And he had a can of Coke and a Mars bar before, and then went and played 90 minutes. You know what I mean? And that's what we would all do on a Saturday or a Sunday league football, wouldn't we? You have a can of nowadays can of Red Bull and a Snickers or whatever, and off you go. And it and that's what happens. But I know he's great, man. Right, okay, we'll put Dixie in. Right back. Who should we have right back then?
Potts.
Steve Potts.
Steve Potts. The thing I love about Steve Potts and that is, he's definitely just a bit niche. He was so unspectacular. He was just there all the time. He was literally like Ludo. You could just name Steve Potts was going to play. He's never going to score. Did he?
No.
Did he ever score?
Yeah, he scored a goal against Hull City. I think it was 7-1, and it was like a P roller.
That was the year we got promoted, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And it was a P roller for his legs or something like that. But yeah, he was brilliant though. And what I liked about Steve Potts was he didn't sit. He just seemed unflappable. I don't remember seeing him lose his rag, and I just loved him. You know, I said it before. Me and my mate, we set up a Steve Potts like appreciation society, like fan club. And just me and him. You know, we didn't bother doing it, send it to anyone else. But yeah, I loved the man. He was brilliant. Yeah. Absolute ledge. Right. Okay. Let's crack. Let's go centre back. You should have centre back then. Travis?
Right, centre back. I'm going to go different era now, and my centre backs are almost a partnership. And I loved watching them play together. So I've got Ginge.
Yep.
Great centre back. I'm gutted when he went to Aston Villa, and delighted when he came back.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't remember him in the first era. No, he doesn't stick out. The second era, he did.
He played the cup final, I think.
Maybe. I just don't. Honestly, I mean, all the seasons blur into one. To be honest, I do it all by shirts. So, like the shirt you got on, as you said, is Dean Ashton.
Dean Ashton. Yeah.
And I don't know what the season was, but it's a Dean Ashton shirt. And with James Collins, I don't remember his first spell as much as his second spell. When he came back from Villa, he'd obviously been with Richard Dunn, and he came back and he was more of a West Ham defender, more skinhead, you know, and he was like he seemed tougher. But no, I mean, he's a lovely bloke, and one day we'll get him on.
I think I have met him once. Oh, I don't remember where. But...
Well, the thing is, he goes to the away games as well, doesn't he? So he's like a proper West Ham fan. And that's what I love to see, players who don't come from round here, but just get the club. Yeah, totally. They're sort of adopted Cockneys, and he's one of them. He's probably one of the most recent ones who are adopted Cockneys. You know, a lot of them are like people like Alvin Martin and stuff, who have been around for donkey's years and still live in like Hornchurch and stuff like that. But yeah, all right, Ginge is in. Who is Ginge going to be partnered with then?
I'd put it with Danny Gabardon.
Oh, the Cardiff two.
The two of them together were brilliant. I was gutted that he just never seemed to get a long run in the team. No. I know he got injured a lot, and it was whenever they played together, they looked the business. Yeah. And I know I think that was around the time we had Anton Ferdinand as well, didn't we? But I always preferred Ginge and Gabardon.
Well, they had that sort of Cardiff connection. You'd assume that there would be stronger. I mean, it's quite funny, you know, like someone like Gabs. I mean, obviously we signed them both at the same time, didn't we? And I thought, and I was always told that we'd signed the pair for Collins and Gabardon came with the deal. That's what I heard, but I don't know if it was true. It's something I've just, you know, football and pub chat. But that's what I was always meant to believe. And maybe that's always why I didn't look at them in isolation. I always looked at them as a pair. And you're right. I mean, as a pairing, they were solid as a rock. And then, as I said, with Anton, that three, that was a nice, you know, trio of centre backs who you could interchange. And yeah, we got to the cup final with him. So
yeah.
We haven't done that since, so 14 years. But yeah, we'll put Gabs in. Right, let's go midfield. Let's go left midfield then, Travis.
I had to think about this earlier, actually. Oh dear, left midfield. Can we come back to left midfield?
Let's go right midfield. Yeah, let's go right midfield.
It's going to be Dimitri Payet, unfortunately. I say unfortunately.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, I know. That season was just another game that I always remember away as well is going to United in the Cup.
Yeah.
That was literally one of the best games as well. And I remember sitting there thinking we were going to win it. And that free kick. Sometimes I go on YouTube and I just watch it. I just watched I remember the BT Sport commentary for it, even though I didn't watch it. I was obviously there that day. But I always remember them thinking, then they're saying, "Oh yeah, it's too far for him. Surely you won't have a crack from here." And it's like, I get goosebumps watching it. And that season with him, he was brilliant. He was absolutely. I know it ended horrifically, but yeah, Arsenal on the first day, like going to Liverpool when Noble scored after about a minute, like everything. That free kick against Palace when he goes to the goal side, and you're like, well, there's no way he can score there. And the goalie I think the goalie puts his hands down because it looks like it's going over, and all of a sudden he was so good. Honestly, I absolutely loved Payet. Like,
well, he was just, and the way he left, but it happens quite often with them type of players, doesn't it? Not just at West Ham, but it's those mercurial players. Once they
that's partly why we signed him as well. Like, I think if he had a better temperament, he probably wouldn't have ended up at West Ham.
No. And to be honest, no one. To be fair, when we signed him, he was, top chances creator or something like that, and it's like, but no one had really heard of him, and it was like we made him. Really, we put him on the world. He wasn't in. I mean, he was playing in France. He wasn't in the French team, and then he came back and played for us, and within that season he was starring for him in the Euros. You know what I mean? So he's done fuck all since. Since he's gone there, he's put on.
I can't speak. I watch a bit of French football, and I now every time I see Marseille play, I want them to lose. Because of that.
It's so true. It's funny like that, isn't it? But I mean, but it was an honour to watch him play because we never really sign players in their peak, do we? We always bookend them. That being said, recently Souček, Bowen, looks like it. Looks like we're getting him right in the peak. But you got to think someone like Joe Cole. He was at the bookends of his career that he was playing for us. And same with, Payet was literally that year was his peak, and 18 months really. He was still doing it at London Stadium. To be fair, the Middlesbrough game and stuff like that, and but he just didn't get what he wanted and threw his toys out. Same as Zenat Nausevic, same as people like Sanchez does. Alexis, not Carlos, Alexis Sanchez. People like that, and that's what happens. And that's what they do. Those mercurial players and those foreign-based mercurial players, particularly. And I think just take Park how he left, but just that season, what he gave to us, I don't think anyone could take that away because it was without him, we wouldn't have had that season that we had.
No, absolutely not.
Magical season. Okay, we'll go in. Let's go into central midfield then. So you still have to worry about your left.
Still trying to think this left-sided person. Yeah. So at centre mid, as I said, John Moncur. I remember John Moncur in my head. I remember him being so skillful. And I don't know whether I've made that up because I haven't seen him play for about 20 years. But
he was. When he was particularly when he was at Swindon, he was a fantastic.
I was going to say, I remember him at Swindon before when Cantona stamped on him.
Yeah, he was a silky player, and when we interviewed him, I asked him about that, about coming to West Ham, and Hoddle wanted him at Chelsea because he was with him at Swindon, and so for someone like Glenn Hoddle to say this guy's good enough to play in the team that I just, that shows you how good he was.
Yeah, an endorsement, isn't it? Yeah,
exactly. When he got older, he was a bit more of a yellow card merchant, but.
Well, that was the good thing about him as well. Like he put himself about it, didn't he?
And that's what West Ham fans love, isn't it? Someone who puts themselves about and has a go. You know what I mean? And he did. And he was just a character, and fans warmed to him. It's like one of my most popular videos is my John Moncur video because he is. When I interview with the other players, all they talk about is him. Is I don't know. His training ground pranks and stuff, and then he tells the stories himself. I forgot I was butt naked and I came out and I just went to Eddie, where's my kit? And he went, we ain't got none, so I ran out naked and put my head in a can of white paint, and he just carried on as if it was like normal, and I was like, that's not normal, John, that's not normal. Most people would just get some kit, rather than I wasn't having it, didn't get no kit, wouldn't put it was only wet kit left, so I just went naked. Okay.
As you do, yeah.
As you do. But that whole era was full of them characters, and to be a fly on the wall in the dressing rooms and the training grounds with him and Bish and Martin Allen, and even before then, the Tony Gales of this world, and there's so many characters which we don't have in football in general now, let alone in West Ham. We don't have in football really. Those sort of, even like
it's all part of the game's kind of been
it has. I know exactly what you mean.
I was going to say it's been professionalized. It's been so so the character's been sucked out of people in terms of their personality, but also in terms of the way they play as well. Like players are now developed in a particular mold. Like so, you don't really get as many mercurial. Like obviously, you'll always get players that have got sort of like once in a generational talent, or whatever. Yeah. But generally, everybody seems to fit a similar mold. In terms of athleticism, in terms of technical ability, in terms of how they play the game, because it's like everybody sets up the same way and they try and do the same thing in the main.
Yeah, you're right.
The result, you suck all of the characters out of the game. Like I think definitely, like
without doubt. I mean, you don't. I mean, and then anyone who does have a bit of character is now deemed arrogant. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I hate Jack Grealish. He's got character, but he's an arrogant little bugger. But I don't like him. But and Troy Deeney at Watford and Callum Wilson at Bournemouth. I want all three of those clubs to go down. You know what I mean? And you don't get like any or Dele Alli and people like that. Anyone with who step out of the mould now, because it is this sort of uber professional football, look like a complete bellend, and that's unfortunately the way it is. It's like James Maddison at Leicester, and you could probably rear them off. But back then, you had your Roy Keanes, you had your Vieiras. They weren't. I mean, they weren't personalities. They weren't like going to go on Wogan like Frank McAvenny did, but they would add some spice to the game.
Personality on the pitch.
Yeah, Robbie Savage, players like that. Like you hated, and they played that villain role because they knew that was their role. Kevin Nolan, before he joined us, was one of them types of players.
Yeah.
And then he was our bastard for us. Craig Bellamy. Those type of players. And they just give you a bit of bite. And someone like John Moncur gave us that bit of bite. I mean, he was saying him and Bish, when they were together as a partnership, they would take anyone on. There was 2 or 3 years where we didn't care if it was Roy Keane, it was Vieira. We'd match them. We'd go at them, and you generally believed him when he said that as well. They weren't particularly, physically, big.
No.
But they put it about, and that's what we loved about West Ham. Right, Monks is in. Who's Monks going to partner in the middle?
Just mentioned him. You just mentioned him. I
keep spoiling you. Bish Bosh. Oh, I love Bish Bosh.
Again, another one. When he went to Man City, didn't he? I was absolutely gutted when he went to Man City.
Yeah, and back, didn't they? Yeah, but we got him from City, didn't we? So he's sort of, it's one of those things. A lot of players do that with us, don't they? They come to us, then go back to the same club, like McAvenny and things like that, and it just happens quite a bit. But Bish Bosh.
Yeah. Again, too. It's a very long time since I've seen him play, but in my head, I remember him being very, very good on the ball as well. Very technical player. Very, bit of a Rolls Royce.
Oh, brilliant, lovely guy, honest, and he's such a character, and being so active on. And what I love about these sort of not old, sort of mid-90s players is they realise the effect they have on Twitter. So it's like like nowadays, obviously every football player's on Twitter, but someone like Bish, particularly.
Oh, he's great, yeah.
He's great, and it's the equivalent of getting an autograph now, because it's a bit naff getting an autograph now. But you get a follow from Ian Bishop, or a like, or he retweets your tweet. You're like, fucking hell. I remember the first time he did mine, I was like, bloody hell. I was like, wow, Ian Bishop. And he was like, because I was like, oh my God, Ian Bishop. And and he was so skillful, such a skillful player. Watching back football, on the old season reviews and stuff. Yeah, the way how he didn't get an England cap was incredible. And it's again, same, Julian Dix and people like that, But, oh no, I love Bish Bosh. Such a nice guy, and again, we interviewed him, and his stories are just fantastic. He just went on for hours. Well, he did go for hours afterwards, but telling me all these other stories which we couldn't record, and I just sat there, just like, oh my God, this is so bizarre. But how he used to wind up Alvin Martin and things like that. And it's honestly, it's a great episode. But yeah, no, Bish Bosh and Monks in the middle, man. That is a proper period. Right now, come on, Travis.
Right,
who's going to be left?
I've shoehorned my left side midfielder.
Don't care. So get him in.
I was toying with Matthew Everington, but I've gone Joe Cole because he played left hand side for England. I don't remember him playing left hand side for us. But Joe Cole, I remember. I thought it was at Birmingham. He scored his first goal for us in the League Cup. I always remember hearing about him, and then him coming into the side and being really excited about him, and then things like that. Just Trevor Sinclair, scissors kick goal, and all sorts. He was such a good player. And when I look back at that team that got relegated, and when he left, and when Carrick left, and it kills me. It absolutely more than the Payet thing. That absolutely kills me because I think to myself, what could West Ham have been? They talk about what would have happened to the ground if we'd have stayed up, and how we'd have developed the East Stand, and we probably wouldn't have left. Yeah, we'd probably be there now.
Quite possibly. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's one of those sliding doors moments. It's like when we had Harry on the channel. He said that if he'd still have had those six boys and sold any of them, he'd have won the league, he reckoned.
Well, the thing is, that was the beginning of the end. I know Harry's a bit of a divisive character amongst our fan base now.
Yes.
That was the beginning of the end when he went.
Yeah,
when Harry
agree.
Had that went, that kind of signalled it, and that's when Frank Lampard then left, and then it just kind of, gradually unravelled, and it was heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. I said it, another one that I can remember it still. That whole run-in, like winning games, and like Bolton keep winning games every time we win, and Birmingham keep winning, and we're like,
and didn't work out, did it?
And I looked at it the other day when we finished on 39 points, and I was looking at the table, and I was like, we've got 42 points. Look at where we are now. We had 42 points this year. I think we'd have finished maybe in the top half. I can't. It's like
mental.
It's insane. That we finished on 42 points and we were in the bottom three.
Yeah, it's just one of those crazy years, wasn't it? And that's the thing, people we still won, but as you said, other teams were winning around us. And
that's because I remember Bolton had JJ Okocha, and that's when they first started getting a bit under Arsenal's skin. Because I think I remember in the run-in, they had Arsenal, and I remember this was obviously Arsenal when they were good. And I remember thinking, all right, this is our chance. We'll make up some ground on them because Arsenal will beat them, and then I think they beat them. And we never recovered. And obviously, like I said, Joe Cole he played a couple of games in the Championship, didn't he?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
And then obviously, he went off to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
But he's a great player, and gutted.
Yeah, gutted. And again, unfortunately, he bookended his career with us, didn't he? So he obviously came back when he was in. But
it was great. But he was definitely a shadow of himself when he came back. He wasn't. Wasn't quite fit enough then, was he?
Nah, he tried, didn't he? But his family still love the club and stuff, and so he's still really a fan by heart. Despite what people say, obviously he still is. His dad's still a fan and stuff. But who knows? One day I think he's a fantastic speaker on BT Sport, and but then there's a lot of our ex players who are fantastic managers and coaches as well at the moment, and. It's nice to see. It's a bit reminiscent. I mean, I wasn't around. Obviously, we weren't around for the Lyle, Greenwood, Boyce era where all these managers were coming, and it's a bit like that. You've obviously got Scott today. At Fulham, you've obviously got Joe. You've got a few in the team. Slav obviously.
I still rate him. I know it didn't work out, but I still think
it just didn't work out.
Manager.
Yeah, I think he's a good manager. I just think he's. I think he's a great national. You can see why he did so well with Croatia, because as a national team coach, what can you teach?
You basically just got to get the players up, haven't you?
Yeah, you've just got to motivate them. You have a week or 2 weeks, and if you're their mate and you put your arm around them and you make them like it's us versus the world, then. That's what you need for a league manager. I think you need something else. You need the other side, and I just think by all accounts he was the player's mate, and sometimes you can't be the player's mate. You've got to say put your socks up and stuff. And but we'll see. I mean, Joe's, I'd like, obviously there's loads. I mean, obviously you got Jack over in Atlanta. You've got they're all over the place. But I'd like to see. Well, we'll see. I'd like to see after Moyes. I think you've got a nice group of potential people. I mean, I'd love something like Scott Parker. He's doing a great job at Fulham.
Yeah.
But who knows? Football's a funny old game, as they say, Travis. So we'll see. Right, okay. Let's go up front. Who we gave us your strikers?
Right. Number 1, John Hartson.
Johnny.
Big John. That season when he got, I think it was like 20 odd goals. I don't think I can remember us having as prolific a striker in the whole time.
Not in our life. No.
The whole time. I think it was when we didn't have the sponsor. We didn't have a shirt sponsor that year. It was always, you were talking about the kits that you associate with people. Him and Burke.
Pony.
The one that was, I think it ended up being Dr. Martens, but
it was Pony. It was a Pony one, wasn't it?
Didn't have any. Yeah, that's right. It's a Pony kit, and it had no shirt sponsor. And I always remember that. And we got to the quarterfinals of both cups.
Yes.
And lost to Arsenal both times when they won the double. And I remember John Hartson just flying. He was like, from the first game of the season, just goals. And he'd come from Arsenal, hadn't he?
Yeah. And again, we've had him on the channel as well, and he's speaks so highly of West Ham, and he loved his time there. And I think obviously, what was instrumental for Hartson for that 23, I think it's 23 or 20. He was second Premier League striker, I think, to Andy Cole that year, and we'd signed Berkovic, I think, in the summer. And those two, obviously, he kicked him in the head, but they're good friends now, apparently. But but they just clicked. Berkovic just clicked, and again, I watched that review that season the other day, and but he weren't just what I thought about. A lot of people don't remember about John Hartson was they weren't all headers. He's a big lad, but a lot of skill, and he could kick a ball fucking well. So there was a nice mixture of goals he had there, and he spoke about his first goal for West Ham against when he was playing Tottenham at home, and he saw the team.
Him and Kitson played
exactly, and he. 4-3 something like that, and that sort of turned that season, and he saw the team sheet and saw Sol Campbell was there, and he was like, I knew I was going to score because I had Campbell in my pocket every time I played him, and I knew a ball was going to come up, and he said and when I saw the ball come up, I said I'm not just going to score, I'm going to score and take Sol Campbell with me. And you see, he literally, like his header, he was forcing himself and Campbell both went into the goal, and he goes, and my manager said, my agent said, if you score against Tottenham, West Ham fans will love you. So you you kiss that badge, you go for. And he said, I did that. Went, kissed the badge and everything. And from then on, I was made. And I said, well, you are. You score against Tottenham on your debut. I mean, you, Tony Cottee, there's lots of people who've done it. So, Johnny Hartson, good shout. Who's he going to partner, Travis?
Right. So, it's going to have to be Paolo Di Canio.
Yeah.
It was very close. Trevor Morley almost got in there. Almost.
Trev. Good old Trevor Morley.
And I will talk about Di Canio, but Trevor Morley, I always think of the BAC Windows kit, Trevor Morley, and early 90s, and he was another one, scored a lot of goals.
Yeah.
From what I remember. But Paolo Di Canio was just, I always remember the goal at Old Trafford in the Cup.
Yeah,
that's the one I remember the most. The goal at Old Trafford in the Cup, and then maybe the one against Chelsea in the season when we went down, which was a really good goal. It's our first win of the season, and I think he juggles it over a couple of people, and then hits it. And he was such a good player. He was such a good player. It was unbelievable, and that's why he's got in. I'd say Di Canio on his ability, and if it had been just purely down to how I feel about the player, it would have been Morley.
Yeah.
But he's just, he was so good.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I know what you say about him. The man's... I mean, he was, for our generation, he was the man, wasn't he? He was like... I don't know what more you can say about him. He was a showman. He was someone you'd be excited, a bit like Payet, you'd be excited to go and see play. Because because you didn't know what he was going to. But I mean, I've always said that for me, Payet was the best technical player I've ever seen at West Ham, but Di Canio was the best player because he had technical ability, not as much as Payet. I reckon Payet was more technically gifted, but he had that passion and that Italianness, which just made him a better player.
Everyone else in as well.
Yeah.
I feel like he fitted better, and I'm not saying that Payet didn't fit in well with the side, but I think Di Canio fitted in a lot better with the side as well.
He fitted in well with that sort of that Redknapp era, that crazy Redknapp era, like soap opera-esque, with all these random players and random foreigners coming in, and he was there, and he just fitted in so well with the Neil Ruddocks, and there was just a whole kaleidoscope of different personalities, and he just added to that. He loves the club, and he still loves the club, and he was, as I'm saying, he is similar to Collins, being this sort of adopted Cockney. He just has this obsession with West Ham fans, and West Ham fans have an obsession with him, and it's really weird because he doesn't come from East London, he comes from Italy, but it just works a bit like obviously Tevez sort of has with us, it seems, as well. Very, very weird, but it's great. No, that's good, Trav. Man, that's great, man. It's been lovely chatting to you. Absolute pleasure, man.
No, it's been great. It's been great reminiscing about some guys from the 90s that I've not seen for a very long time.
No, exactly. If you like 90s, I mean, this is not a sponsored advert, but you should listen to Quickly Kevin.
I do.
Oh, with Chris. Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah.
With Chris Gold. Yeah.
It's brilliant. Love it. Yeah. That's good, man. Yeah, because I love that. It's just because it's just my era. It's absolutely brilliant.
Exactly. Like you said about it's the time when you're a teenager. I think it's you have the most time in your life to be able to watch football and consume it.
Exactly.
A lot of stuff going on around.
Yeah. Exactly. Nowadays, you've got 3 kids. So.
Kids getting away, or the wife wants to watch something else on TV.
That's why I started the channel. It's just like she can be next door and watch. It's all Australian programs at the moment. It's like Australia. I don't know. Married at First Sight and.
Do you know what? I did come in and she was watching that the other day. Actually, yeah. My wife's taken to so like we had that she said, and she even used it as an example, and I said to her, no, it's not the same. She they showed Euro 96 again.
Yeah.
And I watched a few bits of it because stuff like that as well, obviously it takes you back.
Yeah, of course.
And I came in and she was watching season 1 of the Kardashians. And she said, well, you were watching Euro 96 the other day. I said, it's not the same.
Not the same. It's not the same. Not the same. I suppose, it's just, it's funny, isn't it? How it just, although she won't watch any of my videos, doesn't watch, she could watch, I've got 125 different videos. She could watch them all. No. Apart from Harry Redknapp's. Only one she's given a shit about.
Okay.
Only one she's given a shit about. She's walked, because she walks in, oh, hi, Harry. Apart from that, Frank McAvaney, Tony Cottee, Tony Gale, John Moncur, Shaka Hislop, John Pansel. No, don't care about any of them. But Harry was there and she gave a shit about. And then the other day she went, oh, I've subscribed to your channel. Oh, thanks, love. It's been up for 10 weeks. But no. Cheers. Anyway. You don't watch it, slag her off, don't care. Anyway, Travis, cheers, man. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Obviously, thank you. I know you're trying to fit you in. No, it's been brilliant. Thank you so much, man. It's been great. And obviously, thanks everyone for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Soon, all these videos are going to be on podcasts. Any of your podcast things. Don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to take me a while. But watch out, guys. You can watch them when you're back at the gym. You can download them and listen to them at gym for an hour-long session or whatever. You can listen to Travis talking in a few days' time, as well as the YouTube channel. And until next time, for me and Travis, take care, everyone. Stay safe. Come on, you irons. And see you again very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.